Whiskers was a very handsome cat. He had soft white fur and bright green eyes. A long, fluffy tail swished behind him. Whiskers was a very curious cat. He loved to explore. One sunny morning, Whiskers felt very playful. He stretched and yawned, showing off his tiny pink tongue. Today was a day for adventure. Whiskers purred with excitement. He couldn't wait to discover something new and interesting. Where should he explore today, he wondered. Whiskers lived in a cozy cottage. It sat beside a lush green garden. The cottage had a thatched roof and blooming window boxes. The garden was full of colourful flowers. Bright red roses and cheerful yellow daffodils swayed in the breeze. Butterflies fluttered among the blossoms. Whiskers loved to chase the butterflies. He would leap and twirl, his white fur flashing in the sunlight. He never caught them, but he loved to try. Today, however, something else caught Whiskers' eye. At the bottom of the garden stood an old wooden shed. The shed was quite small and painted a faded blue. Cobwebs hung from its rusty hinges. Whiskers had never been inside before. He wondered what could be in there. His whiskers twitched with anticipation. The shed seemed a little bit scary, but Whiskers was a brave cat. He crept towards it, his green eyes wide with curiosity. Slowly and carefully, Whiskers pushed open the creaky door. The hinges groaned in protest. A musty smell wafted out, making Whiskers sneeze. Section 4, trapped. Inside, the shed was dark and dusty. Cobwebs hung from every corner. Whiskers took a cautious step inside, his tail twitching nervously. Suddenly he heard a loud bang. The shed door had slammed shut. Whiskers was trapped. He meowed loudly, hoping someone would hear him, but no one came. Whiskers felt a pang of fear. He didn't like the dark, and he didn't like being alone. He paced back and forth, wondering how he could escape. Section 5, a clever escape. Whiskers noticed a small window high up on the wall. It was slightly ajar. Perhaps he could squeeze through it. He gathered all his strength and leapt. His paws scrabbled against the rough wood, but he managed to claw his way up. With a final push, he wriggled through the window. Whiskers landed softly on the grass outside. He was free. He had never been so happy to see the bright sunshine and smell the fresh air. Section 6, homeward bound. Whiskers dashed across the garden and into the warm kitchen. His human, a kind old lady, was baking. He rubbed against her legs, purring loudly. The old lady smiled and scratched Whiskers behind the ears. "Where have you been, you naughty cat?" she chuckled. Whiskers purred contentedly. He was home, he was safe, and he had a story to tell. From that day on, Whiskers never went near the old shed again. He had learned his lesson about being too curious, but he still loved exploring, and he knew there were many more adventures to be had in his beautiful garden.